Namato Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening everyone. So today is Friday, the 7th of August 2020, and this is Achan Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. So as usual, I'm here with you all. And thank you everyone for following and listening this online Dhamma talk every night. Hi Colin, hi Ankas, Margaret, Manish, and everyone. I hope Colin is quarantining yourself, not going out and about, although I saw you in the beach this morning. Hope you're keeping well. News in Aberdeen sounds not so good. The increase of positive results are increasing. Expected it will increase more. So be safe and take care of yourself. And there are few news going around as well that someone is not responsible for it and blaming to one or another, and telling the pubs and telling the companies or telling the governments off regarding this spread now. But when we look at before the ease, we see that everyone was so excited and everyone was just looking forward to this ease. And then when the government eased the lockdown, and everyone was happy and everyone wanted to celebrate. And everyone wanted to go out and about and enjoy drinking and meeting the friends, meeting the families, and even the joining the parties. And now when the event happened and outbreak, the spike began to increasing. A number of positive results are increasing. And with this, now everyone is trying to find who to blame. And also making noises that they should be doing this and they should be doing that. And I believe that those who are commenting, they have done something similar too. So you have also responsibility of doing such things too. You have one of them to encourage as well. And now, rather than blaming to one another, it is the time to think of how can we make it safe. How can we tackle this virus at the moment, rather than spreading these negativities and then trying to find someone who is responsible for. So this is the time not to fight one another, but to find the ways to deal with it. So it's up to us to make it right or make it wrong. And all in our mind, all in our thoughts, the way we perceive and the way we behave, the way we act on the things. And sometimes we do have to think of those who are having the virus and suffering from this disease. And they do not want to have it too, as we do. They do not want to be quarantined, as we do. They don't want to be suffering from this virus and coughing and pains and aches and no taste of the food at all, and cannot associate with anyone, cannot communicate with face to face, cannot even hug their own children, own husband or wife. It is not that they wanted to have it, but just unfortunate that they were in the same place where someone has it. And we, in a way, we're lucky that we haven't got it and we weren't in a place where someone has it or someone is passing through. So that's why, taking and understanding their status, understanding their nature, understanding, their wish to go out and about and enjoy and celebrate with your friends, and after such a long time of lockdown. So we need to share love. We have to develop the thought of kindness and goodwill, and thought of helping them, feeling more ease, and giving them comfort, and how to tackle with this and how to overcome with it. And particularly with this outbreak, I'm pretty sure that children will be so scared, and the school is going to open, and vulnerable adults are also probably feeling mentally scared, anxious, and stressed, depressed about it. So in this situation, we need to think of the not only individual's safety by keeping oneself safe, but also each and individuals have to play a very good part supporting one another. So rather than creating these negativities or negative thoughts towards one another, we should be encouraging one another to send our goodwill, kindness and compassion, and encouraging one another to be well and happy and safe. So this is what we need to develop at this time of such a pandemic, and this is what the Buddha's teachings known as the Metta, loving kindness. And this Metta again comes under this the ongoing our talk, the second factors of this Eightfold Noble Path, the Samma Sankappa, or the right thought. The second thought, the second right thought, according to the Buddhism, is the non-ill will, or basically practice of a metta. The first thought was the renunciation, which is overcoming our greed, or overcoming desires, which is one of the main root cause of all the troubles and the problems. And the second good thought is learning to share metta. And learning to share metta is, in a way, it's very easy. And we can do by verbally speaking, saying, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be at peace, may you be free from suffering, so and so. Or even just a few words, may you be safe in such a difficult time. In action, again, you can do some good things if possible, and just simply staying at home is, you're in a way saving and helping others, and it's also out of a metta too. So that's why this is the metta is the second thought, known as the right thought, and in a Pali it is known as abhyapada. Actually, abhyapada is resentment or ill will, and this lasts longer, which is similar to the akkodha, or anger and hatred, similar to the anger and hate. But anger and hate can arise quickly, stay sometimes, and it vanishes quickly too. And then once it's done, and then our condition changes, then you will not be thinking about this anger anymore. The anger will just fades away. It's like the fire. Once the condition change, the fire will just blown out. And that's anger is like that. Whereas ill will or malicious thought, that lasts for many, many days or months or weeks or even the years, if not the years. And if we look at ourselves, diving into our own consciousness and the mind, we can find that there are so many thoughts that has been saved and which is based on ill will or malicious thoughts. There are so many examples that I have heard and I have come across with, and I wish that person got caught into the accident and die, or even now, people may thinking that wish this person or that person is in that pub and got this virus and will die or something like that. So these are the malicious thought or ill will that lasts a really, really long time. And this is who is getting a benefit or who is getting worse. And that is a person who is harboring it. One who is harboring this ill will or malicious thought, because that person is constantly in that state of the mind. The person who they want to be ruined, they didn't know. They didn't even have any thought of that is coming to be. But whereas a person who is harboring this malicious thought or ill will, it's like a 24/7 days. It's simply killing or simply bugging into your mind and a heart, and always feeling down, always feeling unhappy, always feeling annoyed and irritated like that. And that's the Vyapada. And whereas the right thought, Vyapada is a wrong thought that causes a trouble to own self and then to others. There is one story that the Vyapada, the ill will, that one of the ladies, she was very devoted in Buddha's teachings, and then but her husband wasn't Buddhist. Her husband was followers of the Nigandanada Putta, the Jain. And then one day she wanted to do the meritorious deed by inviting a monks and giving a dana. And she consulted with her husband and said that I will hire a beautiful girl. So it's like a beauty pageant beauty, beautiful girl of the city, and then will serve you for a whole 1 week. Allow me to go and do the danas. And then she went to contact with the beautiful girl and hired this girl to stay with her husband for whole 1 week. And her husband was also very happy to have a new girl, a beautiful girl who is serving him. And then he said, okay, if you want to go and do your dana, or giving alms to the monks, go. So she set up a tent. She set up a tent, a cooking in a kitchen, just other side of the building. And every day she was working in the kitchen, cooking food, and then every day at the time when the monks arrive for the dana, pindapata, collection, then she will just go and offer dana like that. And every day she was doing like that. And then at the day 5 or 6, the lady whom she hired to be with her husband was in the building, and she looked at from the window to this lady who was working in the kitchen. Her husband saw. Her husband looked at from the window, and then having seen his own wife, despite of having such a great wealth and nothing to do but she spent her time cooking, chopping the vegetables, preparing the food, and with a faith. So she was preparing all the foods, and having seen, and then the sweating, her whole face was so sweating out because of the heat in the kitchen. And having seen this, his wife, he smiled, thinking that how what is it called, how ignorant, how silly that she is working in the kitchen simply to offer a food to the monks. But he didn't know, right? She didn't know about it. And when he was smiling, looking at his own wife, the hired lady saw his smile. So she wanted to know that, whom he is smiling at. Remember, she was just a hired girl for the 1 week, but she forgot that she is hired. So she thought of whom he is smiled at. And then she came out, came to the window and looked at it and saw a lady who was cooking. And then she becomes so jealous, she becomes so angry. And what she did was she forgot that she was hired one, and then she just calmed down, and then she picked up the boiled oil. In the kitchen, oil was boiling for cooking, and then she picks the oil up and throw at the lady. And then because her mindset, the lady's mind was fully absorbed in the cooking food, hoping to offer it to the monk, the oil, the heated oil, the scripture says that didn't hurt her at all. It was just like a cold water poured in her. And with that, she even became more angry. And then she went again, trying to get the hot water. So that all the other staffs in the kitchen tried to harm her, and then catch her and try to punish her. At that moment, see, this ill will tried to hurt, and she already forgotten that she was a hired girl. And then everybody wanted to hurt her, and that moment the lady said, no, we shouldn't hurt this lady. This lady has given us such a wonderful opportunity to do this dana, cooking of food, and having an opportunity to offer a dana to the venerable monks. We should thank her giving this opportunity. We shouldn't be angry at her. And that's the antidote. Right? And then that very moment, the lady who was hired suddenly realized that, oh, she was hired. How could she thought that the man is kind of her own husband? And with that, the husband was smiling at someone she couldn't bear, and came down, forgetting that she was the hired girl. Like that. The antidote is the metta, right? And these similar things we always have. Sometimes somebody did something against our wish, and then we just harbor that thought for many, many years. And the person who has done that, possibly, or maybe that person has already forgotten the story, but we take it on board and harboring that ill will for such a long, long time, and always thinking of that person's bad, that person's everything ruined, or let's say the government takes her wealth or his wealth away, or punished, or caught into the accident, and so and so. And I'm pretty sure that every one of us has got such thoughts. And it is a matter of the thought, it is a matter of a realization of that thought, that if we have that thought at that moment, we will be able to overcome it. And this overcoming is like such a beautiful one. It's like you are taking out the whole mountain that you are holding on your shoulder for such a long time. The very moment when you realize that you are having this ill will, you are having this jealousy, envious mind or malicious mind, and then an ability to let it be rather than holding on to it, then it's such a relief, such a freedom, and such a wonderful feeling of a lightness in your shoulder appears. And that's simply because you have realized the benefit of not harboring any thoughts of ill will. And the cause of ill will sometimes is simply you wanted something and it doesn't happen. Or you wanted someone to do it and it doesn't happen as you wish. And mostly things that you're supposed to get, they get it. And sometimes things that is making you in a deep trouble. And that's how we harbor that the ill will thought. It's called vyapada. The antidote for the vyapada is abhyapada, or the Metta bhavana, practice of a loving kindness. And this practice of a loving kindness is not just pointing at someone else or sharing to the others, but it is to share to ourselves too. Ability to forgive and forget to our own self beforehand, sharing it to someone else. And this is once we are free from this thought of ill will, then the whole world becomes such a wonderful. The way we speak with anyone, the way we act to anything, all become simply full of kindness, full of compassion. My understanding is that once we fully understood the teachings, this mindfulness of this metta and kindness, compassion just arises in our minds and our hearts without pushing it to arise. Because when we practice meditation regularly, as our mind becomes subtler and subtler, an ability to understand things the way it is, what happens is our mind automatically softens, and the ability to link with other people, connecting with others' pains and others' sufferings. And with that, our minds and our hearts just softens, and the kindness and compassion develops more and more. So that's why when you are practicing meditation, and your meditation, you've been practicing meditation for so many years, and yet your heart is not softened towards others, and still arrogant, and still very angry and a quick temper, and unable to notice your own thoughts and feelings, then you still need to work harder. Not just a calming meditation, not just a meditation per se, for like a name or a fame or an identity, but you need to apply it to understand that how important this practice is. So with this, what happens is that simply generates an ability to accept others, respect others, ability to understand others' suffering, understand their feelings, and simply ability to be connected mentally. And Yuan said this empathy, that sort of a thought will comes, the empathy, and that's is the ability to feel those and ability to help. So these all simply develops from the level of our mind becomes softens through the practice of a meditation. The arrogance decreases, the kindness and compassion increases, and understanding others' behaviors, others' thoughts, others' way of thinking, and try not to change, but simply this spreading or sending our love and kindness. So today I offer this as tonight's reflection, and I will end here for tonight. So may you be happy, well, successful, stay safe, take care, and thank you everyone for listening, and may the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. In a few moments time we will have an evening chanting and guided meditation, so you're most welcome to join with us. Otherwise we'll see you tomorrow at same time, 6:30. Until then, thank you and good night.